How's it going, everyone? My name is Aeon and welcome back to Creator Beatdown. Today's episode we're going to be talking about Alkali. As for Alkali, he's a creator in the lower half of the top 100 creator list, and he's well known for fun, fast-paced, and well-synced levels. But is this actually true? That's what we're going to be looking into today. Are these rumors about his levels actually true? Quickly, before we get started, I do want to make a quick little apology about the Viper video. I do know that the levels that I did cover were not all solo levels, they were all collabs, and that is all my own responsibility. I did not mean for this to happen, however, it did end up happening in the end, and from now on, I will be asking all the creators that I'm going to be covering to send me their latest solo levels, so that it's always going to be solo levels. I'm very sorry for that, it will not happen again. Another disclaimer. Beatdown is in fact a collab, however all the gameplay was made by Alkali, so I do think this counts. Alright, without further ado, let's get right into the footage for the levels, then let's get right into judging. So, Beatdown. In the beginning, there's a yellow jump ring that's quite precise, and if you hit it a little bit too late, you will end up hitting the wall, which might cause some trouble for a lot of people as it requires some very quick presses. Then the ball part requires a lot of very quick timing, so unless you're a quick clicker, or you perhaps play on a phone, this can be quite difficult, as some people do have problems with fast jitters. The two jumps before the UFO can throw you off guard because of the moving objects. The platform that you're standing on, it moves diagonally down, so you hit it again, but you don't see it until after you've jumped on it, which to me is a little bit unfair. This is just a general thing, but in the flying part you need to hit the diamond orb if you want to switch upside down, and I would like an indicator that says, hey, hit the diamond orb, because the first time I got there I did not know that you had to hit this, and the first time I beat the level originally I thought, hey, is this a coin or something? So it's kind of misleading, and I would like you to have an indicator telling you to hit the diamond. The spider towards the end you can't really see when you're supposed to click, and this may be a problem because you have to click before the camera is panned up entirely, which in my opinion is kind of iffy and should not be the case. Cube as well, afterwards you can't really see when you're supposed to jump. There is deco that indicates it, but it blends in too much with the decorations, so it's kind of hard to see, but that's not based on the gameplay. But I would like the cube afterward to have a little bit more buffer time. Other than that, the level is extremely well balanced. There are no bad transitions, just a couple nitpicks that I would like to change up. Otherwise, Beatdown is a great level, very friendly. There's a few small things that are kind of annoying. Moving on to malfunction, at 20% you enter an auto part. Personally, I did not catch that you had to jump in the middle of it, which is kind of a throw off, but it's not a big deal. It's just that if you're going to throw someone into an auto part, keep it auto for the entire thing so they just don't have to randomly click in the middle of it. After the wave, you have very little room to breathe before it throws you a new jump at you, and this is very easily done. Just extend the original platform by 1 or 2 blocks. Easy fix, very simple, should not be a problem at all. Towards the end, there's a part that says hold, but it's kind of misleading because if you hold for the entire time, which I assumed you would the first time I got there, I ended up dying because you're only supposed to hold for a teeny tiny bit. This may be a 144 thing, I'm not quite sure, but if you're supposed to hold, make it so that you can't die on either hurts. Have a playtester for you, it works wonders. This is another deco thing, but I do think it kind of plays a role. Some of the deco did kind of look like obstacles, which made the gameplay a little bit more confusing than it really should have been, but it's not a huge problem. Overall, the level is super fun to play. A bit nostalgic to some because this is made for the 1.9 private server. It had no bad transitions, no bad jumping timings. It's just a couple small details that, in my opinion, could have been worked on, such as the misleading word choice, the jump orb, and so on and so forth. Otherwise, very fun level. So far, Alkali, your reputation is holding up. Alright, so over to Darker Drop. I'm going to be a little bit more lenient towards Darker Drop simply because it's demon rated, so I won't be picking on the very tiny details for this one, alright? First off, you should not have had the little tiny rectangle there. It should have been a regular orb timing without the platform, in my opinion. There are several quick transitions that requires memory to do, as you can't really react that fast, and it's not that big of a deal on a demon, but I do feel like it kind of ups the difficulty, whereas the gameplay stays very low in difficulty. Those transitions do kind of make it a little bit trickier. The first small ship section at the drop throws a random gravity portal at you, and it doesn't give you any room to react, because if you do not hold there from the get-go, you will end up hitting the saw. So if you did it on sight read like I did, you're going to end up dying because of that, and it's not that big of a deal, but it's one of those things that kind of wastes a little bit of time, and yes, it adds difficulty, I do understand that, but I think for an easy demon you should have a little bit more room to breathe on that portal in general. A lot of transitions in the drop don't let you see what game mode you're turning into, thus making it hard for you to decide what to do. It throws you into these very tight corridors that makes it hard to see what game mode you are, and because of the high speeds you can't really see what portal it is either, because you're focusing on actually playing. So I don't really think it's a bad thing, but I do think you should have the corridors you're going through a little bit bigger so that you can see what game mode you're turning into. The spider at around 65%, you can't really see anything, so you have to have the timings ingrained into your brain, and the fact that it's 4 times speeds makes it even worse. This timing is, in my opinion, the worst out of the entire level. It's thrown at you out of nowhere, it's fast, it's annoying, and there's just a bunch of stuff there that really makes the level a bit more annoying than it really should be. Because the level as a whole is very fun, but that one timing did get me quite a few times. The robot part has a couple unpredictable orbs and jumps, such as the black one that fades into place and you have to jump right after it. That part kinda got me a few times. It's not too bad, but if you do it on sight read like I did, it definitely does throw you off guard. It's a know-how thing. It's not a huge deal, but it's a little bit of a tiny nitpick. But overall, it's decently well balanced. The difficulty does reflect the song. It goes more and more intense as you go on further. It has great sync, obviously, but you couldn't tell all the time what game mode you switched into, and it crammed you into tiny spaces before it spewed out into gameplay, which made the transitions give you very little room to breathe. But other than that, it's very fun to play and it has very good flow. There aren't any buggy transitions, there's just a couple hard transitions. Alright, so throw in a couple of words here at the end. All of the levels in general were very fun to play. They had good transitions, they didn't really have any bugs. There were just a few things that I wanted to change on, namely things being thrown at you way too fast is one of the biggest nitpicks I have for you, Alkali. And other than that, overall it's really fun. I do think your reputation as a great gameplay creator really does shine through in these levels. So yeah, that's all I have to say about it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this creator beatdown on Alkali. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that I managed to improve from the last one. I did take your guys' suggestions into consideration, and I really hope that you guys appreciate the extra little effort I put in. If you did, please leave a like, comment whatever you think, give me some feedback. Please also subscribe. We're really close to hitting 10,000. We're in on the last 500 people. It's insane how close we are. I would very much appreciate it if you did subscribe to me. It means the world. It's a dream come true being able to do this as I do. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Aeon. Peace out.